What is up, YouTube? We are back with another video. This week's video, we are doing our small shrub pockets. We're getting the fabric laid down before the grasses start to come back this spring. Grass has already starting to green up and grow up, and these are the little spots here that we burned in a different video before this. And so now today we are going to be laying down the fabric, getting that as tight as possible. Going to be using a rake to rake up any of the grasses or weeds that might be coming back still, or get some of that dead thatch out of the way. And so I'm going to be taking along, I got the GoPro, so I'm going to be wearing that. I'll have a time lapse, and then we'll talk about, as I'm doing it, exactly what I'm doing, stapling, raking, and then moving on to pocket. So here we go. Okay, so clearly I have my circle here, a little bit of dead thatch over there that I'm going to remove with the rake, try to rake out any other dead thatch in this little spot here so that the fabric can lay as flat as possible. That's the main goal here. Today I'm going to be using a galvanized 8-inch by 2-inch wide staple. This is some of the heaviest duty staples that we have used in the past. It works really well. And I'm just going to try to rake any sort of dead thatch that might be holding up the fabric. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now I already pre-cut this fabric, so I already have it 6 by 6 foot. And today it's not very windy out either, so that's why I really wanted to get out today, to start getting the fabric laid down nice and flat, so I don't have to start worrying about this when it comes to our planting season. It gets very busy for us. So what I'm going to do here is I'm having a staple here on the corner, jump to this corner, pull it as flat as and tight as possible, stamp that down, pull this back and tight again. I might need a rubber mallet because I am in a little bit of a rockier terrain here, and then lay this as tight as possible as well. And again, I'm gonna need probably rubber mallet. And then here, since I'm not as flat as if you were to till it, I'm actually gonna do 2 staples per side to ensure that the fabric does not lift up. And I should have brought a rubber mallet, but of course I didn't. So I'm just trying to get this little project done. So a rubber mallet works really good for pushing in and tapping in these staples, because it allows the staple then to lock in and kind of push around the rocks. Because in here, in this whole kind of area, I want to get a couple shrub pockets here. I got some thick weeds and grasses, but as soon as winter hits, all the grasses start to lay down. Deer don't come up to bed only at really late dark time. They're usually in the woods back over here. So I want to get this to where the deer want to bed here and feel secluded. So I got shrubs around the outside here and trees that we also need to protect this year, because they have just completely nibbled the hybrid willow down to a little shrub ball. So I need to get electric on that this spring. Then I'm getting the shrub pockets in here to add some browse. So I'm going to be getting these in this little swampy area. I got my rye started in my food plots now, so it's a good cover crop. And I think I need to go in and mow with the skid steer the brassica tops, because I don't really want them to seed out right now. I want that rye to take over, lay a nice cover crop, then crimp it. And then depending on the timing, the brassica, since I'm going to plant the brassicas earlier, I don't know if I'm going to be able to jump to a buckwheat. This is my first time doing a crimping, so honestly, trying to read stuff on the internet is kind of difficult. There's not really a crystal clear way of using a crimper and instead of spraying. So I'm going to be trying this year. I threw the rye on in October last fall, and I'm going to talk about this in another video, so I don't really want to go into super in-depth about what I'm going to try to do for the food plots, because today I really want to talk about these small little pockets. So I got this all laid out here. I got 2 staples in each middle and then 1 on the corners, and I wanted to try to lay as flat as possible to suppress the weeds right away, especially if I can do it now. And then I'm going to plant in 2 to 3 weeks the red osier dogwood, dappled willow, and silky dogwood. If I can lay this fabric down, it's not going to allow those grasses to pop. It's going to choke them out and not allow them to grow underneath. So then I'm going to jump to this pocket. I got a few more other pockets where we already burned, so then I can get started on this and get it all laid down nice and flat. So we're just going to keep jumping from pocket to pocket. Then I'll have to come back with a rubber mallet and tap a few of these staples in. But overall, this is nice flat. I'll have a shrub probably here, maybe up there. Kind of keep that 3 to 4 foot spacing as much as possible, but really I want to just create a clump. That's the whole goal of these small little shrub pockets, is to create little clumps of browse for the deer, because sometimes in areas like this, the contour of the land, it's very difficult to create those 30-foot diameter circles. So here, if I got a little 5-foot diameter circle, and I might do 3 or 4 of those in this small little area instead of doing just one giant big circle. So it's another option for you guys. I know it's going to work really good for us here, especially in this little pocket. There's a couple other pockets in the swamps up there. I don't know if you could see that. That's a little more of a spacious area where I think I'll be able to put a couple bigger pockets. But in this area, the way the contour and the land works, I just want to go with a smaller pocket. So enough talking, let's get the other fabrics laid out here. Okay, second shrub pocket here. I really should have brought maybe a weed whacker, but I do have a pair of snips that I could snip some of those raspberry bushes that got burnt down. So it would be nice to get those laid flat, because I don't think those are really going to break off. Well, maybe they will, since they're burnt and they're dead. We'll see. Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay, that's pretty good. There we go. Nice. All right, perfect. So that's nice and prepped area. We burn this again. Come along here, laying the fabric nice and flat, trying to center in the burn area that we got, just so most of the area was burnt and prepped. So I'm going side, then I'm going this side, pulling this edge tight, staple it down nice and tight, and then pulling this side tight. And then I'm going to do this corner here, pulling nice and tight here, keeping everything nice and flat. And there we go. Okay, now I'm going to staple 2 in each side. Of course, I set them right on a anthill. Why wouldn't I have? It's my luck, So I hit a nice rock there. There we go. Pulling tight, laying this nice and flat, especially if you're in an area where you guys get a lot of wind. You could even ramp up and put another one in, because you don't want to come back in July and find out that your fabric blew over your cuttings and you got to try to go back in and try to fix them, because it's very difficult to fix fabric around established cuttings. Very difficult. So I would do more staples than what you might think, just to ensure that it doesn't blow up. Alrighty, third pocket here. Just trying to get some of these raspberries down and out of my way. If I were to do this again, I would come back with a weed whacker and nip any of these that didn't burn up. Obviously, the stalk's gonna still be there, so I would next time bring a weed whacker to ensure that I can whack all that down nice and flat. But this is gonna work for today, so I can get it down nice and flat and start killing the area down below it, suppressing the weeds. Okay, so if I set this here, so next time, two things I need: rubber mallet and then just the weed whacker. But this is going to be just fine to get at least the fabric laid down nice and flat for the time being, and then I'll run back up to the shop and grab rubber mallet. But overall it's going pretty smooth, so just got to keep her moving. All right, again, knocking down some of this old thatch. So you can see the grasses have already started to grow up in a couple of these, so I'm probably a little behind, but you know, that's how spring goes, especially for us. Just our busy time is right now, so just happy to be out here being able to get some of this done after work. Just trying to get a couple projects done here and there, but overall we're looking pretty good. Okay, grab this. Well, we're gonna be over top of an anthill, which I guess will be all right. I got plenty of ants out here, that's for sure. Right there. Okay, going over. When you try to staple into a rock and you ain't got a rubber mallet. But okay, so that's my third pocket. Probably put two down there, maybe one over there. I think I burned one, and then that's kind of it for the swamp. And I'm gonna see how it grows this first year to see if I need to put, you know, a couple more. And that's what I would do and recommend, is depending on how big your area is, how much you want to spend the first year, how much time you have to put in your cuttings, that's going to determine how many shrub pockets you should do. You know, don't buy 200 cuttings and not have a weekend available to be able to plant them. Alrighty guys, so that is a wrap on installing my fabric for my little shrub pockets. Now the next step will be to plant the cuttings. We are up here in central Wisconsin, so we will be planting in the middle of May, after May 13th, after our last average frost date. So I'll be laying 4 cuttings in each of these pockets, and then I'll be placing my 5-foot diameter cage around them using 1 T-post, zip tying it, and then I'm good to go. So if this is an option for you guys, not as big of a pockets, doing multiple small little shrub pockets in an area, this is going to work out very well. Very easy to protect and to establish shrubs in specific areas that you want to create browse for deer to either have bedding or just to pull deer away from your neighbors, and it create a little bit of a screen as well. So if you guys have any more questions, give me a call, email us, or find us out on our website. And in next week's video, I will be breaking down our one install we did down in Illinois. It was 3,500 feet of screening, double stagger row of hybrid willow, double stagger row of silky willow. So it was a really fun project, really big project, and to screen along a roadside to keep pesky neighbors out. So continue to stay tuned. I appreciate all you guys watching this week's video, and we'll see you guys in the next video.